As a project comes to completion in the PrebuiltML software, the final step is to produce the output files, which will be passed on to others who are involved in the project. This includes reports, as well as framing layouts. Creating all of these different files in their various formats can be a time-consuming process. To help with this, the Publish tab was created in PrebuiltML. The Publish tab allows you to streamline and automate the process of generating your output files. This is accomplished by setting up one time your preferences in your template file and then leveraging that setup in future projects. As you start to configure the Publish tab in your template file, the first thing to define is the default destination, or said differently, where are all of these output files going to be placed as they are created. There are a couple of different options. By selecting the project location, all of the created files will be placed in the same location as your project or PEDB file is currently located. If you select the local drive, you can browse to a specific location on your computer or a drive that's accessible by your computer, and the files will be placed in that specific location. Once we've identified the default destination for all of our output files, we can move on to the Reports section of the Publish tab. The first thing is to identify which reports will be produced each time that the Publish button is clicked. Here we're placing checkboxes by our desired reports. Once we've identified which reports will be produced, we'll need to make some additional settings. First of all, we'll need to identify what the file will be called for that particular report. File names can be specified in a couple of different fashions. First, you can just give a specific name to that report. So in this case, whenever the itemized QL list is produced, it will be given the title of Special Report. But sometimes you may want to include information that's unique to the project, such as the name of the list. Here, this list is called Building 1, and perhaps we want that list name to show up in the name of the file. We can come back to the Publish tab, and to make reference to that specific value, we'll type in square brace, list, and close it with a square brace. So now, each time that this Publish tab is produced, the itemized QL list will reference whatever the name of the list is and place it at the end of the file name. In this case, since Building 1 is the name of the list, Building 1 will be placed at the end of the file name. But if the list name was changed to something else, such as Elevation A, that would be used instead. There are other items on the General tab that can be referenced and placed into the file name. For example, Project, Tracking, Creation Date, Revision Date, and Print Date are all items that can be referenced by making use of these syntaxes and have them show up in your file name. After identifying a file name for your report, you'll also need to pick a format, whether that's PDF, Excel, CSV, or perhaps a specific point-of-sale version that you have available for you. Make your selection, and finally, you can also choose to adjust the destination for that particular report. In this case, it's set to use the default, the value that we've set up here, but we can also make a very specific location for this specific report. After finishing the settings for the Reports section, we can move down to the Framing Layouts section of the Publish tab. Here we'll want to define the name of the PDF file that will be produced containing all of the framing layouts that are selected. In this case, we're referencing the tracking number from the General tab, meaning that whatever value has been entered in the tracking number field in the General tab will be placed at the beginning of the file name, followed by the title or the text layouts. We can set the destination to either use the default, or we can specify a different location as well. After setting up your Publish tab in your template file, you can save it and then use that template file for your future projects. And as you finish a future project and bring it to completion, you can come to the Publish tab and produce all of your output files in just the way you want them in a single click. So here in the Publish tab, we'll come to the Global Publish button at the upper left-hand corner and click it, and it starts to produce the output files. Here you can see in this Windows Explorer window that those files are being produced and placed in that default destination location. So by taking a few minutes to set up your Publish tab in your template file, you can save yourself large amounts of time in the future as you work on your projects and bring them to completion.